Hey man, you want to see my car?
No, not really. I'm just trying to get to the.
Are you sure?
No, really. I think I'm good. I'll pass.
It's one of one, only one produced in 2016 on a Thursday while the operator was upside down crying because his wife left him.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Hello everyone and welcome! My name is Raymond and I'm a game developer and the creator of games like The Street King and Left Turn Legend. I'm also a huge car enthusiast and on that front I have some big news to share. I bought my dream car. It's a 2016 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray with the Z51 package. If you really want to get specific with the specs, I'll give them to you now. It has the 7-speed manual transmission, magnetic selective ride control which lets you adjust the dampers, the 3LT equipment package which gives you leather seats, cameras on the front bumper, and a few other nice things, the PDR or performance data recorder which lets you record track days, but I also just like to use it as a dash cam to keep myself safe. And it's torch red on the exterior with an adrenaline red interior, so it's a lot of red to go around. The most important thing about a car like this: how does it drive? Nobody cares about, the luxuries or all that stuff. You buy one of these because you want to go fast, and this thing absolutely rips. It's also fantastic around corners. I'm definitely going to take this car to a track day at some point, and I've actually already gone to an autocross with it. I'll probably have a video or blog post on that at some point later on. But there's already a ton of reviews on the Corvette, and I don't think I would be the most fair reviewer either, given that this has been my dream car for a long time. So I'm not really going to review it. Instead, what I want to share is my personal story of how I ended up getting this car. As a kid, my way of enjoying cars was through racing games, and one of the biggest influences on me was Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. The cover car on that game might have been the Lamborghini Diablo, but I just couldn't get the C5 Corvette in torch red out of my mind. Maybe it was the fact that, unlike the Lamborghinis or Ferraris in that game, I would actually see Corvettes around in everyday life. I loved the car for how excessively American it is. Massive crossplane V8 in the front, rear-wheel drive, manual transmission, it had everything. But as I grew older, I also started to appreciate the fact that the Corvette was actually an attainable dream car. It wasn't like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari where most people would save their entire lives and still never have enough to get one. When it comes to performance per dollar, it's really hard to beat the Corvette. And that's what made it my dream car. It's something that isn't unrealistic, but is still special. And I'm not trying to be a salesman by saying that. I'm saying that because the car is something special in terms of its performance and its appearance and all of that, and yet it's not out of reach. And that's what makes it such a great dream car for me. And just a side tangent, I know that I'm probably very spoiled to be able to talk about having a Corvette, especially at my age, but by attainable I mean something that, while sure, not literally everyone would be able to afford at some point, it is still something that you can dream of and not feel like it's so out of reach like a Lamborghini that it's not even worth thinking about. Longtime viewers of mine will know that I had a 2022 Honda Civic Si that I daily drove. Had because I actually sold it, and now this Corvette is my daily driver. You might be wondering then, why get the Corvette now, and why this specific one? In terms of why I got it now, I know that I'm very fortunate to be able to have this car, and that, I can't just say it's all my hard work. I know that luck definitely plays a factor in these sorts of things, but I did spend the past year and a half working very hard at my job, eventually got a promotion, and that's what got me in a position where I was able to start looking into Corvettes. Now, for why this specific one in particular, this Corvette here was actually from Seattle, and I had it shipped down to where I live in California. You might be wondering why I didn't just buy something closer. Well, I had some pretty specific requirements around the car, and given that I wasn't in a position where I absolutely needed it immediately, I figured that I'd rather wait and get something perfect than jump the gun and get something that I might regret later on. So I went out and test drove some Corvettes in order to figure out what I wanted, made a list of those requirements, and then created this giant spreadsheet listing every single Corvette that I found that was worth some investigation. I went through tons and tons of details, from the vehicle service history to the Kelley Blue Book price to the location of it. You don't want to buy cars from the Northeast because it snows there, and that snow can be bad for the cars in terms of rust. All of these were documented in this spreadsheet. And after a couple months of searching, I found this Corvette. It was up in Seattle, but it had everything that I wanted, including the manual transmission, the red on red color, the 3LT trim, all of that good stuff. I basically knew immediately that I had to have this car. Of course, I didn't let the dealers know this because I wanted to negotiate with them and get a better price. But after combing through so many different cars, it was basically love at first sight. This one was something that I knew immediately was the right one to go for. So I called up the dealer and did all the normal negotiation stuff. That part sucked. It took like a week and a half of back and forth calls and texts and all of that crap in order to get this sorted out, and we finally settled on a price that I think we were both okay with. Although, if I'm being entirely honest, I probably would have taken the price that they originally listed the car for. I just wanted a better deal. I wasn't really in a position where I could actually travel up to Seattle myself to see the car and then drive it down. I would have loved to do that, but unfortunately it was December, and there's a lot of snow in the mountains between Northern California and Washington. So pretty much the only choice I had was to ship the car. I settled on having it inspected by a Chevy dealer beforehand, but buying the car sight unseen was still pretty scary. But I figured it was probably safe. The car had really low miles, the inspection checked out, and the service history was all good. There was one little thing on the inspection: the tires. So this was a 2016 Corvette, which means it was actually manufactured in late 2015. And it was still on the original tires. So you had a 460 horsepower sports car, all of that going to the rear wheels, on 10-year-old tires. It was honestly kind of a death trap to drive when I first got it. It was all over the place. And I'm not gonna lie, if traction control didn't exist, I might not be here making this video today. So you might be wondering what's next. I've sold my Civic Si and the Corvette is my daily driver now. I've already gotten rid of the death trap tires, so that isn't a problem anymore, and done all of the regular maintenance things. To be honest, I think in the short term I'm probably actually not going to do too much to it. It's already an incredibly capable car. I really don't need more power or grip if I'm being entirely honest with myself. And while my opinion on that might change in the future, I figure let's burn that bridge when we get there. It's better to enjoy the car stock for some time, both so I can save some money and get a better feel for it before I start changing everything up. It is a truly awesome car. Like I said, I'm not here to review it, but it's just impossible to ignore that fact. The engine sounds amazing. It grips super well. It's so fast. It's so fun. It's my dream car for a good reason. And the best thing about owning my dream car now is that no matter how bad things get, at the end of the day, I can go to bed knowing that when I wake up the next day, I'll have this car waiting for me, ready to drive. Anyways, that was just kind of a quick life update on something very big and important to me. I know that I've been a bit less active nowadays, and that's just kind of how things have been with changing responsibilities at work and different things going on in my life. One of those things, fortunately, is owning this car now. I appreciate all of the support and feedback you guys give me in both my YouTube channel and my games. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.